Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Shree, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I've lost weight with Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism. By the way, guys, I am not a doctor or a nurse or a fitness expert or a nutritionist. I am just sharing my experience with Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism and losing weight with it. So I would definitely recommend consulting your doctor or your endocrinologist or whoever before doing anything. So the last health related video I made was like 20 minutes long, talking about all the weight loss lies I used to tell myself. So I'm going to try to keep this one as concise as possible. But for those of you who don't know, in 2009 I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and then the same year it was discovered that I actually have Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune disease that causes the hypothyroid condition. I've made previous videos about this, about all the symptoms and how there's like over 300 symptoms you could possibly have, how it's super hard to get diagnosed, hard to maintain and even feel normal. I've made quite a few videos about that before, so I'm going to go ahead and link them in the description below. So for 10 years, one of the biggest symptoms that I struggled with was my weight. With Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism, you gain weight really, really easily, and it's really hard to lose weight. In addition to that, you have to work out and eat and live in a very different way compared to people without this autoimmune disease. Those of you with other autoimmune diseases or who have like chronic fatigue or chronic illness or other invisible illnesses, fellow spoonies out there, you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, you have to do a lot of research. So today I'm going to tell you what I did to finally get a hold of my weight and what I'm going to be doing going forward. So obviously I still have farther to go to get to my goal weight or where I'd like to be physically. This is a journey. Of course, health is the number one priority, as I've said before, but in the past year and a half, I'd say year to year and a half, I've lost 85 pounds. So my highest weight before I left Australia was around 287 to 285 pounds. When I arrived back in the United States, I wanted to find an endocrinologist ASAP. He ran all the labs, all the, everything that I have done every 6 months, always taking my blood work and doing my lab work. So continuing to be on levothyroxine or Synthroid, I know that like one of them is the generic name. We found the perfect dosage for me, and also I am still continuing to take 2,000 units of vitamin D, iron, and B12 daily. Of course, I make sure that my vitamins are taking the appropriate amount of time after my thyroid medicine, like 4 to 5 hours after my levothyroxine. So that was the first thing, to make sure that my blood levels were all correct, that my vitamins were in order, and that my medication was in order. Because all of the other symptoms, in addition to the weight and getting the weight off, nothing was gonna happen unless I had everything else in order. So first I got a Fitbit and I started walking, and I would walk for like an hour a day. And I would try to hit my 10,000 steps, which was great. And I was losing a little bit of weight. I was kind of fluctuating here and there. It wasn't like a lot. I probably lost like 5 pounds over the span of a couple months. So of course, as mentioned before, I had to do some research, and I found out that those of us with autoimmune diseases and Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism, because we're so heavily impacted by stress and because we take a longer time to recover, it is not good for us to work out for a huge, long, extended period of time. Like 45 minutes to an hour generally doesn't do good for us. So I started walking for only about 10 to 15 minutes a day. Then I started doing a 15-minute calisthenics workout in my living room at home. When I had moved back, I didn't have access to a gym. I was just wanting to do stuff in my living room, and I was really self-conscious, and I had never been that heavy before. Like, I was almost 300 pounds. It was the heaviest I had ever been. So I just wanted to kind of, I know it sounds silly, but I wanted to like lose weight before going to a gym, if I did go to a gym. So I'm gonna put a link in the description down below. The 15-minute calisthenics / like strength training workout I did at home in the very beginning of my journey was through Zuzka Light. She has a bunny slope program, and it is on YouTube, a huge playlist. I was doing it like 4 to 5 times a week, just 15 minutes a day, plus my walking. And then again, another 5 pounds started to trickle off in the next month. So everything really kick-started as soon as I met my fiance. He is a bodybuilder, he has a rock climbing background, very much into fitness, and he was actually seeing a personal trainer who he introduced me to. So I saw this personal trainer for about 6 weeks, and then after that I decided to stop seeing him because it was too expensive, and Quintaris and I were gonna just continue on our own. So with the personal trainer that I was seeing, and with Quintaris by my side as well in the same sessions, that is where my love for weightlifting really blossomed. Like, I fell in love with strength training and weightlifting, and when we stopped seeing this personal trainer, we continued to go to the gym together, and we would work out probably 3 to 4 times a week to do strength training. And of course we would add in some like warm up and cardio for me, but Majority of the past year, I have been doing strength training, and that's actually done really well for me to like build my muscle underneath. And combined with eating autoimmune paleo, every month the weight just kept coming off. So at the same time as when I met my fiance is when he started becoming really invested in my health as well. And we took on this journey together to learn about the autoimmune paleo diet. I had never really embarked on it before, and with his encouragement, we learned about it together and we started meal prepping every Sunday. That is another huge contributing factor. I feel so much better just overall, not just with the weight and the weight loss and the fitness, but like all my other symptoms. Everything just is amazing. Ever since in Australia, I got told by a doctor that I'm allergic to wheat and milk, and I know I'm allergic to mushrooms, but like doing the Autoimmune Paleo Protocol and figuring out what I'm sensitive to. So just sticking to AIP has just done so much. So I'm not gonna lie, like being allergic to wheat and milk probably helped a lot, because I would be at work and people would have cookies and brownies, and I'm just like, I literally can't have that or else I'll have a really bad reaction. Like I'll be in so much pain and I don't want to go through that. So that was a huge factor, that I got my diet in order and that we started meal prepping and then making going to the gym regular. Like I said, because we take longer to recover, I needed to ensure that I sprinkled out my strength training and workout days so that I had a longer recovery time and I wasn't getting too fatigued. So now my go-tos for inspiration in the gym is Hannah Oberg and of course Athlean X, Jeff Cavalier. So Quintaris and I just really pull a lot of inspiration from their workouts. I should also mention that when we started the meal prepping every Sunday and when I started eating autoimmune paleo, the personal trainer that we saw taught us, instead of calorie counting, what we did was we used our hands to measure our food. So for example, if I was going to have fat, an avocado, for example, would be the size of my thumb. If I was going to have lettuce, make sure it's two handfuls. Every 3 hours, I was instructed to eat protein the size of my palm. So that was a really good guide for the past year and a half. So it's fantastic. I've lost 85 pounds in a year to a year and a half. So where are we now and what am I going to do going forward? So my inches and measurements have definitely changed and I'm definitely still getting stronger, but unfortunately I'm going to have to change things up because the fat loss is not happening at the same rate as before. I've kind of hit a bit of a plateau. So now instead of training like a bodybuilder, unfortunately, because I love lifting weights, I'm going to have to do a lot more high intensity interval training, a lot more calisthenics, which I've been incorporating, which is good because it still sticks within that 20 to 30 minute time frame without making me too fatigued, and I'm still gonna see results. I am so close to breaking the 200 mark and getting under the 200s, so I'm very happy about that. For my food, of course, I'm going to continue eating AIP, and what I do in a nutshell is I eat in a 10 to 12 hour time constraint, and every 2 to 3 hours I'll have protein. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth video about autoimmune paleo and what I eat specifically to maintain my health and to lose weight and continue losing weight, leave me a comment down below and I will definitely go ahead and try to do that for you. So just to recap, number one, I got my meds and my vitamin supplements in order because a big part of Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism is that you can't get the nutrients and vitamins that you would normally. So I got my meds in order, got my vitamins and supplements in order. Number two, I started strength training and doing cardio and calisthenics and all that great stuff. Really got into the gym 3 to 5 times a week, just depending, making sure I don't get too fatigued, keeping it to 20 to 40 minutes max. And number three, meal prepping and doing autoimmune paleo and making sure that I am paying very much attention to how my body responds to certain foods. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave them in the down bar below, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button because it would mean so much to me. Also, please stay tuned because in the future I have some follow us to the gym videos where I take you with us to show you what kind of workouts I am doing. And lastly, go ahead and check out my Instagram if you want to see some snippets of me and Quint at the gym. As always, thank you guys so much for watching wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye!